What's up and welcome back to the show. You're going to see that I have a silly looking vest on. This silly looking vest is going to save you major time. It's about a $20 investment that you should not go without. Now you don't have to get this one. You can find another one that works for you. There's going to be a link in the description and I'm going to tell you why you need this. I ain't trying to sell you something for a benefit of selling you something. Yes, it's an affiliate link. Don't order it if you don't want it. But I'm telling you, last year was the first year that we used this in our business, and it was the MVP of the business. Today we're going to be talking all about males and females. No, not the humans, the vampire plugs. These things. Do you feel like your woman's always right? Or do you feel like you're right? Well, that's how I determine where I keep my males and females in my pocket. This is important. This is for efficiency. I know it's kind of funny, but if you feel like your woman's always right, you put your females in your right pocket. If you feel like you're always right, if you're the male, there's going to be some females watching this, so just flip it around. If you feel like the male's always right, you put the males in your right pocket. That's how you're going to keep up with and avoid like grabbing, looking, or which pocket is my, that happens all the time, okay? Go ahead and figure out a system where you know what's what. How do you put these things on? Well, there's a lot of different, there's not a lot of different ways to do it. There's a wrong and a right way, and in some of our videos I might have actually said it wrong. I finally read the paper because somebody left a comment and was like, dude, that's wrong. It's like, okay, great, well, let's get it right. If you do it wrong, it's not a catastrophe. We did it wrong the first couple years in our business and nothing ever happened. But right and wrong way to do things, let's figure out the right way to do them. So you have this female plug. Before we start talking about how to put this thing on there, most of the time your female plugs and male plugs are going to come, where'd that sucker go? There it is. They're going to come without the backs on them, okay? It's a great thing to do to just sit down in the living room if you have kids, or if you're married, or if you have a buddy that wants to help. Just sit in the living room, watch some football or something, and slide these things halfway on there. That way you know you have one plug with one back, and when you stick them in your pocket, you're not looking for the back. If you just dump them in there and you have to find a back, now remember, you're on the roof doing this, or on a ladder doing this. So the last thing you want to be doing is fumbling around looking for something, okay? Look on this female plug, okay? One side there's some writing, the other side there's not. And I don't know if you can see this, but it even says ribbed right here on this female plug. There is a ribbed side of this line. There's 3 little embossed rubber ribs there. You can feel them. You can close your eyes and feel them. It feels smooth on the other side and ribbed on this side. Before you put this thing in here, now look, I've also got my Milwaukee cutters. Those will be linked as well. And these are just the ones that I like. I've used about 50 different kinds. You're going to take the end of this wire. I'm just using some zip wire, for example. You're going to take the end of this wire and split it. Very minimal. Doesn't have to be a lot. What we're trying to do is just avoid these 2 ends touching, okay? Now I'm going to line up the ribbed side of my wire with the writing side of the plug. We're going to slide it in, push down, fold over, and slide the back on. Pretty simple. Sometimes hard to do when you're on the roof, or when your hands hurt, or when it's hot out, super hot outside, or when it's super cold outside, to get that thing all the way on there. But you need to get that back plate, that tab, all the way on there. Okay, that's the female side. Same thing for the male side. Ribbed side goes to the letters on the plug. That's the neutral side. If you're an electrician out there and you want all your, the reason you do this is because you just want all your neutrals to line up, right? Sure, it's a lot more complicated than that. You don't need to know. I don't need to know why. We can just, left pocket, male. I'm looking back at this one, make sure I did it right, yep. We have riding on that side. So we're going to line up the ribbed side of the wire to that. We've already split it. I'm going to slide it down in there. And down in this plug, there's a separator on the males and the females. That while we split the wire so it goes on each side of that splitter. Push in, fold down. Side of the backing. And bam. Bob's your uncle. Now we have a working little baby extension cord. Think of it this way. Female has the power. Well, why is that important? You want this female to always have the power. When you plug into it, you get the power, okay? Female has the power. If I had a guy one time that we were installing some stake lots and he kept putting males at the end of the line to cap them off, and he just couldn't get it. And so finally I was like, I plugged them in and I said, hey, go touch that. And he's like, I ain't touching that, it's hot. I'm like, exactly. There's a kid that's going to run around that's going to touch that plug and it's going to shock him and it does not feel good. It's also, that does happen. It can happen where you accidentally put a male where a female needs to go if you're not paying attention. Just switch it over. You might see it the next year. Just switch it over. Make sure that your females always have the power. There's certain instances where you might be tempted to do that to shortcut something because of a way that you have a line run. Don't do it. Don't give a male power because you're going to shock somebody. I can't tell you how many times I've been shocked doing this job. And each time is just a stark reminder to quit putting freaking males on the end of a line. The female has the power. Hey, remember, love God, love others, and let your work reflect that. We'll catch you on the next one.